Welcome to Shul.com. Good morning, guys. We are reading from Masechet Berachot, Daf Yud Amud Aleph. The question is as follows. Let's say a rabbi comes to you, a teacher, and tells you, hey, look, you did this and this. It's over. God is not going to forgive you. There's nothing you can do. And it's over. You don't have this, or you're not going to get Gan Eden, or Olam Haba. What do you do if a rabbi tells you that? Or I'll double it down. Let's say a chief rabbi of a city or a country comes and tells you that. Tells you, look, you did a big avon, it's all over, guys. What if a prophet or a Kohen Gadol looks at the Urim Betumim and tells you, hey, buddy, you did this and this, God, you went too far, God's not going to forgive you, it's all over, there's nothing you can do anymore. How are we supposed to look at this? So I'm going to show you Gemara, and I'm going to flip over something that you cannot believe this Gemara. It's unbelievable. Amar Rav Hamnuna. Rav Hamnuna. So my dichti, what is it? It says in the pasuk, Mi kishehachacham umi yodeya peshid davar. He's talking about peshid is when people have an argument in the Beit Din, they do what's called a peshara. A peshara is, we tell them, do you want to do a mediation here? Let's say one guy says he owes me $1 million. He says, no, he owes me $2 million. Back and forth. So the rabbi will look at the case, hear both sides, and say, look, I heard the case. Before I give you the judgment, because once I give the judgment, it's over. There's no appeals in the Beit Din. Whatever they say, it's done. Or do you want to do peshara? We close the book for a few minutes. We talk about it outwardly, third person. I'll tell you he's right, he's wrong. I'll give you my opinion. You can make a peshara. That's called peshara. And more often than not, the chachamim try to do peshara. Because they're trying to say, look, you want us to throw the gavel on the guy, or do you want to work it out? Let's see, what is it that you want? What are you looking for? Settle it. Put it in a way that both parties are going to be in some form happy, because they're not going to both be happy. They can't both be happy. One of them is going to walk away with less than the other. Has to be. Who's like God, who knows how to do peshara? God does this. Not only the Beit Din learned it from God. Let's take a look. Ben Shnei Sadikim, between two righteous people. Ben Hizkiyah the Yeshayahu. Who was Hizkiyah? Hizkiyah was one of the best kings we ever had. He was. You can't imagine how great Hizkiyah was. How great was he? One day Sanheriv comes with 180,000 generals and battalions to take over Yerushalayim. He arrives on Erev Pesach, the day before Pesach. Everyone hears the horses clamping, they hear the soldiers, they hear the yelling, they hear the weapons and the clanking of the metal. Hizkiyah goes outside of his palace, he looks out of all the mountains, he sees there's no greenery. Why is there no greenery? Every single piece of the mountain is covered with people waiting to take over. Now, he was warned, Sanheriv was warned, they told him, if you want to take over Yerushalayim, it's a one-day battle. You got to go in and out in one day. So he started traveling and going. The horses went through the rivers. They drank so much of the river water, they dried out the rivers. And he gets to Yerushalayim, and he sees this little city, this little tiny city with a wall around it, a Bet HaMikdash. And he says, I traveled all this way, and they told me to take it over in one day. He said, we just traveled hours. He said, you know what? I'll do it tomorrow. This little city, you're telling me I can't knock it out? Now, Hizkiyah Melech had the most emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You cannot imagine how much belief he had. You look at that, he said, look, it's Erev Pesach. He goes, this is the same night that we had a miracle in Egypt that God took us out. He said, I don't think that I'm going to be able to go out and now fight with these people. He said, God, I'm going to sleep tonight. I need you to do me a favor. You brought these people, take care of it. It's your business. It's not my business. I know that I'm not going to be able to challenge these people physically, and that everything is controlled by you. I'm going to leave it to you. He put 100% his heart, his intellect, and his emunah in God. And that night they all went to sleep, and none of them woke up except for Sanheriv, the king, which was unbelievable. It was a crazy, crazy story. But why am I telling you this story?
So he didn't wake up from his sleep?
No, he woke up.
He woke up.
Everyone else died. Everyone else died. And why was this, that this happened this way? Because it was showing how much emunah. Because us as Jewish people, it doesn't factually work. It doesn't make any sense. look at the numbers that we are, look at how history has treated us. If you were to look at everything, you would say it's impossible. These people it doesn't make any sense. It's not possible that this could work. But Hizkiyah taught us a tremendous amount of emunah. So what is this peshara between the two tzaddikim? Hizkiyah Amar, Leite Yeshayahu Gabbai. He says, let Yeshayahu, the prophet, he was the king was Hizkiyahu, and Yeshayahu was the prophet. He says, Dehachi ashkechan be'eliyahu de'azalika be'achav. So he told, let Yeshayahu come visit me, just like Eliyahu Navi went to go visit Achav. Achav was a bad king. He wasn't a good king, he was a Rasha. He has no portion in the world to come. Okay. Yeshayahu Amar, Leite Hizkiyahu Gabbai. So Yeshayahu says, let Hizkiyah HaMelech come to me. I'm the rabbi. What do you mean? You want me to go to him? I'm the prophet. Let him come to me. And it says here that they saw with Yehoram, the king of Israel, Melech Israel, that he went to Elisha. Elisha was the student of Eliyahu. So one of them gave an example that Eliyahu went to go see Achav, and then the prophet said no, it's the opposite. Said his student Elisha went to go see Yehoram. Okay, what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu do? He made Hizkiyahu sick, and by making him sick, he told Yeshayahu, the prophet, go visit the sick. So now if you go visit him, it's not a rabbi to the student, or that, it's more that you're going to visit the sick person. He almost went to his deathbed to die. Yeshayahu ben Amos comes to see him. הנביא ויאמר אליו כה אמר אדוני צבאות סב לביתך כי מת אתה ולא תחיה וגומר. Okay, so he comes, Yeshayahu, the prophet, he comes to Hizkiyah after this whole situation. Who comes first? He came. The first thing he tells him, he says, oh, by the way, just wanted to let you know, Yeshayahu tells him, Hizkiyah, you're going to die. Just want you to know, it's over. So imagine the rabbi comes to visit, he's there for 2 minutes, and he tells you, okay, it's over, guys, you got to go. So what does it mean that he's going to die? Met means to die, and he's not going to live. What do you mean? If you die, you're not going to live. Why you tell him ki met ata velo techiyeh? He told him two things. So the met ata ba'olam hazeh goes, he's dying in this world, Hizkiyah HaMelech, velo techiyeh l'olam haba. When there's going to be a portion of the world to come, he's not getting it either. Amar le'ah, mai kul lehai. He tells him, so what's all this? What did you suddenly come and tell me all this? Amar he tells him, Mishum de lo asakta bepirya v'vidya. He said, you know why? Because you're a righteous king. He goes, but you didn't have any children. And we have here, the Sefer HaChinuch, right here. It's the first mitzvah in the Torah. What's the first mitzvah in the Torah? You must get married and have children. That's the first mitzvah in the Torah. So it's number one. So Yeshayahu tells him, I don't get it. You're very righteous, but you didn't have any children. So it's over. It's over in this world and over in the next world. Why was he saying also it's over in this world that he was going to die? He was going to die with no progeny. He's dying with no children. Amar le'ah. So what does the Hizkiyah tell the prophet? This is Yeshayahu Navi, by the way. Yeshayahu has 66 perakim, I believe, in the Navi. He's one of the biggest Nevi'im we ever had. One of the biggest. And he says, Amar le'ah. Now, Hizkiyah tells him back, Mishum dahazili beruach hakodesh nafke minay benin de lo ma'alu. He says because they showed him. So Hizkiyah answers him back. He goes, you know why I didn't have any children? And in that case, Hizkiyah tells him, because I have ruach hakodesh, and I saw beruach hakodesh that the children coming out are just going to be bad kids. They're going to be off the avodah zarah. They're going to not do things. I didn't want to bring children in the world. They're not going to do the wrong things. Imagine that. Imagine someone who knows that if your children said, I don't want to do it. Amar le bahadi kapshe derachamana lamalach. He goes, what? It's your business to how God runs the world. So because you have Ruach HaKodesh and you know something, but now you understand God's secrets. God told you to have children. He didn't tell you, if you think and see that the children will be so-and-so, don't have them. He didn't say that. He said, have children. God created the world so that there's an offspring that people can populate the world. And he says, it's his job to do the mitzvah of Priya B'riya and have children, and God will do whatever God needs to do. It's not his choice to make that decision based on his Ruach HaKodesh. Amar le hashta havli beratach. He tells him, Now you made a ta'ut, he tells him. He tells Hizkiyah, he tells Yeshayahu, you made a ta'ut. Havli beratach. Give me your daughter, and I'll get married to her. He tells him, now that you came and told me the prophecy that Hizkiyah was going to die and everything, he said, listen, if you really want me to have children, and I already know Beruach HaKodesh are not going to be good, why don't you give me your daughter, and I'll get married to her, and you're a prophet, I'm a good king, and together we'll have children that are righteous children. He kind of put him on the spot. Imagine the rabbi comes and tells you, that chief rabbi, tell him, okay, listen, give me your daughter and I'll get married to her. Now, you just gave me Musar, and I guess he had a daughter that was still single. Okay. Amar Yeshayahu answers him back, Kevar nigzera alecha gezerah. He says, I would, but the gezerah already is in the Shamayim, it's done. It's finished. I'm sorry, I'm a prophet. I'm a higher level than Ruach HaKodesh, and even Hizkiyah Melech, he's not a prophet. He says, I'm higher level than you. It's over. The gezerah is finished. So I can give you the daughter, but they're not changing. Now, this is where it gets a little bit rough. Amar Leah, he tells him back, Ben Amot. He doesn't call him rabbi, he doesn't call him the prophet, or doesn't even call him by his first name, Yeshayahu. He tells him, the son of Amot. His father's name was Amot. So he tells him, son of Amot, Kaleh nebuatcha v'tzeh. He says, finish your prophecy and get out. Tells the rabbi, finish what you have to say and leave. Now, why do you tell him finish what you have to say? Because a prophet who has to say something must finish what he has to say. It's part of the commandment. But he tells him another thing. He says, Kach mikubelani mibet avi abba. He goes, you're going to tell me that there's a gezerah I can't break? He goes, I learned from my father, and I'm the Malchut bet David, and from his father, all the way back to David HaMelech and Yishai. He goes, what you just said is false. He says, Kach mikubelani mibet avi abba. Afilu herev hadda. Even if there's a double-edged sword, a double-barrel shotgun on someone's forehead, Munachat al savaro shel adam. It's on the throat. Literally, it's a few seconds and it's done. Al yimna atzmo min arahamim. Because you never give up hope in God, because God can do anything. Now, happens to be, he ended up having children with the daughter of Yeshayahu, and they became avodah zarah, just like he thought. But why is this important? And we're ending with this. Why is it important? Because it tells us a rule of life, that no matter who tells you what, you can always reach out to God and He can save you. At the end of the day, he ended up surviving. And not only did he end up surviving, he ended up living another 15 years after the prophecy, raising the kids. Now, why is this a key thing? Because it doesn't matter if you're hearing all these prophecies now of doomsday, Gog and Magog, Israel attacking, people being killed, babies being kidnapped. These gezerot can easily be stopped with teshuvah and reaching out to God, even if the gezerah was already written. Even if it's already signed and sealed. We know from this story that you can change anything in any reality if you truly put your emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen.